Hey traders, Raghee here. Let's circle back to silver. We talked about silver last Friday in the update. Let's come back to silver here today, and we're going to take a look at the daily time frame of silver. Now, there was a chance that this notion of a short squeeze that was sort of fueled by not just the Reddit Wall Street bets board, but also other players that have been talking about silver is due for that move to $30, maybe beyond. And there's probably a little bit too much made of it. But here's the thing, gang. We do want to stay bullish silver, but let's talk about the levels. Up here is resistance. That's a Darvis resistance level. There's another Darvis resistance level there. There's a nice swing high here. So those are all different resistance levels that silver is going to have to overcome. And on the open on Monday, we saw that quick move to the upside. And this is where I cautioned everybody, not just from up in here, but mostly from here, because that's where we were on Friday when we discussed it. I said, hey, please don't commit to the long position thinking we're going to continue to see higher highs. Wait for a pullback. Now, look, there's a FOMO that oftentimes hits us, and I call this FOMO, FOMO Momo Bozos. Okay, we don't want to be a FOMO Momo Bozo and then jump in here, because if you really believe in the narrative for silver, it should be far more than the fact that an online board is talking this thing up. We really want there to be a good technical, good supply-demand narrative. Now that makes sense from down in this area, which is support. Just above the 200 exponential. It's where this market could be arguably oversold. There's a lot to like about silver once it sells down off into this area. Now, I mentioned in that video, hey, wait for a pullback. Well, this is a pullback, gang. But so you might say, well, Raghee, what now? We moved down 2.8 points. What does that mean? Well, let me show you what that means and what we should do next. All right. So let's take a look at the front month of silver. Now, we're going to execute the idea in SLV, and I'll talk more about the specifics of the call and so forth in the premium video, but let's talk about what 2.8 points means within the context of silver. It's way above the typical price movement range. In fact, it's 2 times the typical price movement range. And when I get a larger than normal historical volatility move, 2.8 points here versus say 1.4, 1.3, I want to wait for it. Here's the important part, gang. Just either a minor low or an inside day. What's a minor low? It's a squatter-bodied candle with a slightly lower low. I would love for it to hit the point of control here. 26 would be great. So I want to see a minor low. In other words, I don't want to see another big sell-off in silver. I want to see a small sell-off in silver, or a candle that trades above today's low and probably down near the bottom of the candle range. So it would look something like that, okay? Or like that. That's what I'm looking for tomorrow's candle to be compared to this. In that narrow-bodied candle, we have a terrific opportunity to start looking at the long side of the SLV. So how does that work? All right, so what we want to do then is focus on, when we start moving lower here, what we want to start focusing on are likely, I'm going to eyeball the 24 call, right? That's going to be an over. Now, please know that's going to be an aggressive level compared to what I would also consider really good support down in this area. So this would be an aggro level. This would be conservative. So don't put in a lot of size on that opportunity tomorrow. So that's the story with silver, gang. Now, if you want something more sizable, you might want to wait for a reversion to the mean on the volume weighted average price. You might wait for something like that. Okay, there's no harm in doing that. In fact, we saw a move like that back in here, and that was where silver bottomed out and started moving higher. So if we can get a reading like that, once again, just above the mean, I think we got a terrific opportunity to get long silver. Just now that we've got the pullback, now that perhaps the frenzy is done, I'm pretty interested in this once again. We've done this trade before. That was back in here. I'm looking at potentially taking advantage of it again. All right, I'll see you in the next update.